What's up, fam? On today's episode, we're going to talk about the real costs of organics. And I'm going to write that down. I'm going to write all this down so I can remember what I'm talking about. Okay? The real costs of organics. The real costs of organics, fam, which nobody seems to understand. No one seems to understand this topic because 99% of the market is salt grown. So if you don't understand, if I don't explain it, if someone doesn't explain it to you, you're not going to understand. So let's get into those details. First of all, what does it cost? What does it cost to run an operation? To flower plants out, it's between $50 and $100 per month. Let's say $100 a month. It's $100 a month per light, per 1,000-watt light. In that calculation is you could put the air conditioning in there and all that stuff, okay? It's gonna be about $100 a light. Okay? Minimum, when you include the AC costs. Now, if I'm a salt grower, what's the difference between a salt grower and an organic soil grower? People in today's market don't understand curing and what exactly it is, what needs to be cured and what doesn't need to be cured. Salt grown doesn't cure. So you don't have to cure it. That's why you flush salt grown, fam. Okay? That means within 30 days of harvesting it, of taking it off the plant, it's already being sold with no complaints. The longer you hold on to salt grown, the worse that it gets over time. You can start to sell it like 2 weeks, after chopping it down. 30 days, easy. Okay? The yields on salt grown compared to soil grown organics. Soil grown organics gives half the yield. Half the yield. So you're only getting 1 pound per light instead of 2 pounds per light. The other thing is, soil grown, all strains are different. Some strains in soil, like a haze, needs 9 months to cure. 9 months. It takes like 4 months to grow. You have to grow it for 4 months, so you have to pay for the 4 months of electricity, and then you have to wait an additional 9 months to start collecting money back from the product. For a haze, for Death by Lemons, it needs 5 months. For GMO, like wedding cake, 3 months. For Golden Goat, 2 months. There's some strains you don't know until you grow them, fam, that can cure in 2 months in soil. Do you know how you know when the cure is done? By the way that it smokes. It'll start off as black. It will start, like the soil grown organics will start, the ash will start as black. And over time, it'll go salt and pepper, silver, then salt and pepper, or salt and pepper, then silver, and then white. For Golden Goat, you can turn the ash white within 2 months. Okay? But the world, if I grew only Golden Goat, I would be stuck with a lot of Golden Goat. That's why we grow 5 to 6 flavors. We grow 5 to 6 of the best flavors that create that connoisseur quality. For example, runts and gelato. When we grow runts and gelato in soil, no matter how long we cure it for, it never turns into connoisseur quality. Like maybe something like 10% of phenotypes that you grow can yield connoisseur quality. What is connoisseur quality? You have to be there. You have to know connoisseur quality to really understand what connoisseur quality is. It's the way it smokes. It's the type of high that you get. It's the experience from when you're smoking it. You know, wow, this is different. It's not the flavor that's different. It's something about it that's very hard to put into words. Like, it's so smooth, it's like smoking air. But it took 9 months to get there. For example, the early piff that we gave New York like 3 years ago, 2 or 3 years ago. It took 9 months until it was unbelievable. Unbelievable. But the New York market back then was new, that there's other people that control the New York market, all these middlemen. I'm not going to mention names. A bunch of salt growers and middlemen control the New York market on how things get advertised. For example, if I try to explain a cure, that the haze, that the piff in soil needs this long of a cure, I get laughed at in the comments on people's pages, and then they blow that up. The whole New York market, the people who are known in that market, they make posts to salt my name, to destroy my name. So, and then everyone laughs, and then it's all about the salt grown again. They don't want you to know. They don't want you to know about these type of topics. Because if you knew the difference between salt grown and organics, a lot of people would go to the organics. A lot of people would make the switch if everybody knew the mentality of a salt grower and what these people are really doing behind the scenes that we're not going to get into, because it's not my job to explain that to people. You have to figure that out. That's why I'm saying salt grown and organics is two completely different mentalities, two completely different perspectives on life. One of them revolves around money, and the other one is about principles. Money versus principles. The organic guys make less because of principles, because they want to do the right thing. Okay? Now, to get back, I think I explained everything I needed to explain about that part of the conversation. Now, let's explain about the cost of organics and why people can't run an organic operation and make money off of it and have it run smoothly. I need a year of money. I need a year of electricity and food money. That's what I need. Okay? I need about $75,000 in advance for me to be able to run. And I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna go over the whole year right now, so you can see when we don't have the whole year's supply of money to grow, it means that we shut down rooms and we can't grow until we get the money. Then we have to wait an additional year to grow in that time space, in that time slot. And I'm going to show you. The operation starts October 1st. That's the way that the company runs. The operation starts October 1st. Once November 15th comes, we can't get shut off. The electric company's not allowed to shut us off in wintertime. So from November 15th, there's a law, until April 15th, they can't shut us off. But the second April 15th comes, that they're going to shut you off immediately. we begin October 1st, okay? Because we can easily pay the October bill. October 1st, we don't even fill up the whole entire farm. The farm has 48 lights that can be filled. I can put 48,000 watts of flour into the farm, but we don't because we're not going to be able to pay the bill. So what we do is we grow like, there's 2 rooms in the barn. There's an 18 light room and there's a 12 light room. We only grow in the 18 light room and we only use half the room. We use like 12,000 watts in that room. That's it. Okay? It's a little bit more than half the room. And that's because that's the electricity that we're going to be able to afford when we sell that. Now watch this. October 1st is veg. November, all of November and all of December, we harvest like by January 15th. The whole room is harvested and we haven't had to pay an electric bill yet. Now that the room is harvested, we have to cure that product for a minimum of 3 months. Okay? So that was January 15th, February, March, April 15th. By April 15th, we have to pay the bill now. As the product is cured now. A lot of it is cured now. Now I can sell the product like a couple weeks before they're going to shut off the electricity. I can start to sell the product. As that product was curing, I couldn't grow another crop in the barn because of the money that it was going to cost. So I have to shut it down because we don't have the year of money to pay for the food and electric first. I can't make that back. I can't come back when I get the money and turn back time and put the crop back in that wasn't there. That's what people don't understand, okay? Because at that time, we have to pay in electric at that time. There's other rooms going on. You have to understand. There's other rooms that are also going on at this same time, like a 5 light room and a 4 light room. So we're talking about like 20 lights, which is like 25, it's 3,000 a month. So my calculations were a little off about the $100 a month. It's like $150 a month to run 1,000-watt lights with the AC and everything that we need, okay? $3,000 a month I had to pay for October, November, December. Oh, and then there's the room. Okay, all right. I don't know exactly what it is, fam, but I got to come up with like $15,000. When April 15th comes, I move 3 Ps. I get the money to pay the electric. The electric's on. Now the electric's on, but there's nothing I can do because now that it's past April 15th, I can't turn on the rooms. I can't turn on the rooms because how am I going to pay March electricity? How am I going to pay May electricity? And then June and July and August. See what I'm saying? Now, if I had the year's supply of electricity and food at the beginning of the year, it means I would be able to throw another crop into the barn. And then I would have the supply right now. I would still have more GMO, wedding cake, and diesel, our biggest sellers. I would have that right now, be able to move and make money. But I can't because I can't do a second crop because I have to let things cure. July 1st, we do the hazes. Only in one room, in a 4-light room. That's it. That's all that's going on is a 4-light room. From July until October. And then, so we can't grow all year Because we can't pay the electric bill. There's no loans. I'm sitting in a paid off 7-bedroom farms on lots of acres. They won't give me a car loan. I didn't go through a bank to get this house. I did it in the underground. I bought the house a whole nother way in the underground, fam. Owner finance, no banks, no credit. 2 people that come together and form a contract. Okay? We went to car dealerships. We called up like the dealerships. They tried to finance us. They won't finance us because we've never had jobs. Fam, our entire life, our social security numbers show nothing. Nothing. I'm 48 years old. My social security number shows nothing ever happened in my name. I just came into the country. I just got my social security number. I need to build credit. They won't give me a credit card, fam. How am I going to build credit if I can't get a credit card? The credit you build doesn't matter if you don't have a job. It doesn't matter what your credit is. You could have an 800 credit score, fam. They're not going to let you buy anything if you don't have a job. Your 800 credit score is useless if you don't have a job. Your word means nothing. They don't look at my word on the street. It means nothing to them. My word on the street should mean something to you because we're in the underground. You're my credit. Don't you understand? You guys are my credit. That's why we do all the right things. That's why we don't grow with salts. That's why our principles matter. Because our principles are our credit line. That's our credit score. Our principles are our credit score. But, people aren't really understanding this. Fam, I came to YouTube. The reason why I came to YouTube is because I was hoping that there was going to be some intelligent people on YouTube. Because Instagram is the bottom of the barrel of human. That's all I can tell you. So I'm hoping that YouTube has people that have more brain, that can use more percentage of their brain and figure out what I'm saying. Fam, I'm a hydro grower. I grew hydro for 25 years. It's easy. I got 3 pounds of light one crop, not 2, 3. And remember I told you in organics you only get 1 pound of light? Fam, in RDWC, I was getting 3 pounds of light. 3 pounds of light. But I'm doing the wrong thing. At some point, I had to grow up, fam. At some point, I had to do the right thing, okay? I couldn't be a 20-year-old forever. If I could turn this whole entire farm, 50 lights, to hydro, do you know how easy? And get say 2 pounds of light. And then I could sell it right when it's harvested and get $150 an ounce like this. Half price. Half price. 150 GMO ounces all day long, fam. You see how easy that is? I'd be driving a fucking S-Class, fam. At some point, the community has to get together and do the right thing. At some point, there has to be 30 people out of the 350 million people in the United States. Out of the 350 million people in the United States, all I need is 30 people in the whole entire United States to want to do the right thing, to support us for 1 year. 30 people. That's it. 30 people to smoke what we do for 1 year. And you know what I'm saying? This is why when we don't get those 30 people, because we don't have them, and because we don't have them, now we're depending on Vegas. Now we're depending on Vegas to come up with the money for us. Do you see what I'm saying? Fam, I went to Vegas 5 trips. I didn't lose 1 trip. 1 trip I broke even. I was down 3,000. I made a video explaining I was down 3,000 or whatever. I broke even at the end of that trip. Every other trip I made a profit. Those trips helped pay the bills at this farm. But what people don't understand is everyone's going to ask me, well, how come you don't go to Vegas and make $1 million then? Just because I make money in Vegas, doesn't mean it's some simple thing that you go to Vegas with $10,000 and you become rich. You don't know what I know about these casinos, about how they cheat. To make a long story short, fam, the casinos cheat. They don't shuffle the cards anymore, okay? They use computers to arrange the cards to fuck you, okay? I found a way to get my math, though. I still found a way around that. And you know what the way around it was? I have to play a round at every casino. I can only play 1 round at a time. So I go play my round, then I have to switch casinos. Then I have to switch casinos. I win 1 stage a day. That's all I can do. All you can do is win 1 stage a day. The casinos are smart today. They use technology now. They use technology to destroy the odds. Fam, this is 1 casino trip in Vegas. I want you to look at this. This is over 100 shoes that I played in 12 days. Fam, in 12 days. This is hundreds of thousands of dollars in bets that I made with only $9,100. I brought $9,100 to Vegas, and I made over $250,000 in bets right here. It's all logged. It's all logged right here. These are all the shoes I played. No one can do that, fam. Nobody can do that, okay? I don't have a regular brain. I know things that most people don't know, okay? Because I'm not part of your system. Okay, fam? Vegas is what's been saving the brand. Okay? Vegas is what's been saving the brand. Without Vegas, there wouldn't be anything. There wouldn't be anything, fam. So, basically, fam, I'm going to break it down one last time for you about Vegas. You got to bring $10,000, you got to bring $9,900 to Vegas, minimum. Okay? To play a $100 table, you need $9,900. And by the end of the 12 days, the most you can basically do is double your money. That's it. Worst case scenario, you're going to break even. The worst case scenario, you're going to break even. That's why I go to Vegas. Because I get a chance. I get my chance. Yeah, I only take a few $1,000s. We were playing with the tax money. We were playing with the electric money. That's what we were doing. Then April 15th came, fam. April 15th came, okay? And I had to give the $7,500 for electricity, okay? And another 25 to 25 for the for the what do you call it? The taxes on the farm. They took my Vegas bankroll. That was it. I had to pay. The 15th came. So I lost my Vegas bankroll. Okay? Everything I learned it at the end. I needed one more chance. I needed to double. The last trip, I needed to double. Okay? Then some things went wrong at Foxwoods because of the way that they cheat. So I lost a little bit of money there. Okay, fam? So I'll never go back there again. I know where to go. I know where not to go anymore. It took me a year to figure that out. Okay, that's Vegas. That's why we go to Vegas. Because we can't run the brand without it. Unless you guys are going to step up to the plate. Okay, like, did I forget anything? No. Did I forget anything, fam? The haze needs a 9-month cure. Do you understand? The haze needs a 9-month cure. Something that takes 105 days to grow organically in soil needs 9 months to smoke right and be amazing. At 5 months right now, she's at 5 months. I'm smoking her. She's amazing, but most people are not going to understand it yet because the ash is not there yet. It'll be there in 4 more months. I have to wait 4 more months to collect some money. Do you understand? A crop that should have went into the barn didn't go into the barn because we weren't going to be able to afford the electric that it was going to bring. So all the GMO, wedding cake, and diesel that I should have right now ready to sell is not here because it takes a team effort. It takes a team effort, okay? Now, this is what the market is always going to be. The market is always going to be salts until some people in the community are well off enough to have an extra $300 a month to help support us and change things. Because we have to be a year ahead. We have to be a year ahead to run the brand, fam. Okay? What about the $20,000 in mini splits that we spent that are still sitting here uninstalled? How about the $20,000, the $15,000 in packaging that's still sitting here that we had to pay for? How about this $5,000 rosin, custom rosin press that is sitting here as product, can't be grown, but we had to invest in these things. These things had to come from somewhere. They had to come from money. Okay, fam? All those companies that you see out there had big investors to get it together. They had to come up with $3 million to start the company and the grow and all that stuff. Okay? I came to this farm homeless, fam. I was living in the streets when I came to this farm, because of police raids and stuff like this. Okay? Like police raids and gang robberies. I lost 2 houses to the Latin Kings in Springfield and Forest Park. Okay, I got run out of Forest Park because eventually they figured out that I was doing something weird over there and they kicked down my door. They kicked down both my doors. There was no way to go back. When I tried to list the houses with the realtor, they were too scared to come to that neighborhood. They refused to list it. I lost that. It's gone. Those are gone. I can't get them back. I moved on. That was like 2013, 2012, 2013. Okay? I left there with a backpack. That's it. I left Springfield with a backpack, fam. I slept in the streets of Lynn, Massachusetts. Eventually, I went to a homeless shelter in Lynn, and I couldn't take it anymore because we were being treated like animals, fam. Okay? That's a whole nother thing, about this system. I slept in the street, fam. In the middle of wintertime, I was sleeping in the streets. All these people on the internet that say they're my friends, they were going to help me, they're going to do this, they're going to do that. Nobody did anything. Nobody did anything. They let me sleep in the street, okay? I had my grandfather's pocket watch, who I never met because he died when my dad was 5, okay? I had my grandfather's gold pocket watch with me the whole time and 2 pairs of Versace sunglasses in my backpack. That's all I had to my name. This was 2012. Every day I went to North Shore Community College. Like when we every day we get kicked out of the homeless shelter, I go to North Shore Community College. I'm looking for houses, even though I have no money. I'm looking for houses. I'm looking for owner finance on Craigslist. I'm looking for owner finance. I finally find this farm right here. Okay, I call the guy up. I explain, I'm going to give you $1,000 right now. I'd like to buy your house. I'm going to give you 30% more money, for the house. I'm going to give you 30%, like more than you want. I'm going to do it on a 5-year note. I can't make a payment for 6 months. So I'm going to pay you rent for the first 6 months of $1,000. And after the 6 months, I'm going to give you a $20,000 deposit. Then I had to make it happen. He agreed to it. I said, if I miss a payment, you get the house back. Everything I gave you is yours. I signed a contract. I wrote a contract out saying all this. Okay, fam? I gave my grandfather's gold watch to a high school friend, and I said, yo, can I get $1,000? You can hold on to my grandfather's watch. I'm coming back for it, and I'll pay you interest. 20% a month. 20% a month, fam. I paid him interest. Okay? I came up here. I had the $1,000. I gave it to the guy selling the house. And I had like a couple pounds of trim that I turned into oil, hash oil. And I sold the hash oil, and I bought some lights or something. Okay? And I set up 2 lights here, fam. That's it. In this 7-bedroom farm, I had no money. I set up 2 lights. I survived off of eating potatoes, yo. Nothing. I didn't have a car. I had no way out of the farm, just like I have no way out of the farm today. Okay? That 2 lights, fam, I needed to turn into $20,000. That 2 lights, I needed to turn into $20,000. The girl I was with at the time ended up taking all the weed and the car and everything and left. The $20,000 deposit was gone. Was gone, fam. Just like that. Because some girl couldn't take the pressure. She couldn't take the pressure. So she took the money and left. After like 5 months, fam. I had a month to get this guy the $20,000. Okay? Or I was supposed to be out here. I asked, could I get an extra month or something? Okay, fam, an extra couple months, and he said yes. And then I got the money. I eventually got the money together. Okay, I gave him the $20,000, and I set up 4 lights. Then I set up 6 lights, and so on, fam. Okay, eventually I set up 50 lights, 48 lights. Eventually I set up 48 lights. I went from homeless to 48 lights. Okay, fam. All right. Do you understand? Now, is there anything else that I forgot, fam? Yo, you want culture? You want culture, fam? There ain't no culture in salts. You want culture, you got to invest in the culture. There is no culture out there. There's fake culture out there. You want culture? You have to invest in culture. What does that make? I hear people on this live, fam, people on this live on YouTube, like telling everybody in their live, I'm not giving you $10. I'm not giving you $10. I'm not doing this. I'm not doing that. Why are you watching my live? Why are you watching my live? Why are you here? Why are you wasting your life on me? Anybody? Okay, fam? If you're not here to help support, why are you here? You're going to waste your life on me? Life is hard enough to make it. I want you to, yo, fam, remember one thing. While you waste your life on the internet, I got a paid off house. I got a paid off house. Are you ever going to have a paid off house in your life? Ever? I guarantee you, you will never have a paid off house if you're sitting here on the internet like talking about I ain't giving you $10. I could tell you 100%, you will never have a paid off house And that's why you're on the internet. That's why you're on the internet, fam. Because you're never going to be anything in life. So you come on the internet. Okay, fam? Fam. Okay? It's time for some people to do the right thing. It doesn't matter that 348 million people are going to do the wrong thing. It doesn't matter. What matters is 30 people are going to do the right thing. That's all that matters. Fam, all that matters is 30 people are going to do the right thing. They won't give me a car, fam. They won't finance me for a car. They won't finance me for a loan, even though the whole house is paid off, fam. Okay? The community has to build. The community has to build everything, fam. Without the community, there is nothing. Without the community, there is salt grown. That's it. Salt grown is all that's going to exist until people want to do something about it, fam. Okay? Peace.